substance of a friendship.
Yeah, I was also queuing up Rosenbaum to go on his alone rant. How much
Missed it.
I like the show, but
I'm sorry I missed that one.
on a serious note, I mean, it's
Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's.
Well, I will jump in that what we're all talking about has been earned through many years of work and trust.
Yeah.
So it's like when we all talk to each other, there's no failure in what you're talking about because you've earned the other person's trust, and we actually have proven that we care about each other based upon the last 20 years of our lives. So we have that going for us.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Go on, Michael.
I just was going to say, I feel like if Kristin, honestly, I'm not saying this because we're on it, but if Kristin or Tom ever asked me for anything and said, hey, I need your help, I would be there. I mean, this is someone these people I've known for 20 years and worked with and spent more time with them than most of my family, or if not all my family. So,
however, you have to know that if you call Michael, it goes straight to voicemail, and he says, don't leave a message, send me an email or text. So if he got the email or text, I need help, he'd be there.
Somebody came to see you when you weren't feeling well a long time ago. Remember that?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh. and then you still asked him to move a big heavy box outside of your house.
Yeah. He's there for me, and I know that in my heart.
I really hope on the next one of these things, Michael, that you actually broadcast from Tom's house. Just to switch it. Well, Tom, you actually said that you find yourself appreciating this show more as time goes on. And I think that's like just sort of a natural component to getting older and getting distance from anything you work on. But can you add to that a little bit more about why you think that is? Why you think you appreciate it a little more?
Yeah.
You're muted, Aaron.
You muted yourself. Aaron, you muted yourself.
Mute myself.
By the way, Aaron Sager's on Paranormal Caught on Camera, a show that I would watch because I love that shit.
It's very weird, but yeah, you should watch it.
Is it real? Like, do you guys really see paranormal stuff, or is it all like produced?
Sort of my shtick is that you just look at footage and you're like, huh, what would that be? It's a very kind of hypothesis-driven type of show, very rhetorical. And a lot of times it's just people that have shaky camera footage.
Like Ancient Aliens, where they're like, ancient alien theorists propose that it could be, and it's like
I'm not saying it's Sasquatch, but Sasquatch, that kind of thing. Michael, I was just kind of curious. Did you, because of your friendship with Tom, and you've been out, I think, you and I had met at a con a long time ago initially. Did it take a little bit of convincing to Tom to say, come to this world of these cons, because it is a really like embracing kind of
18 years, Aaron. And I think, look, there are two different people. There are two kinds of people. 2 years, so it's been cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're here because of, as far as for me,
except that one guy. Remember, the one guy waited in line 30 minutes for me, and then he comes up and goes, dude, Gene Hackman was the best Lex Luthor. And I go, yeah, I agree with you. All right. He kind of asked off, and I was like, but I think he was just trying to be funny, trying to get attention. But, most people are just great. They don't most people don't show up at your house, God forbid, or invade, because that's just crossing the line. And most people don't do that. You hear about that stuff, but it's rare. Most people are genuinely just real cool people, Yeah,
don't do that.
It's never a good idea. Well, Kristin AC in the chat wants to know, looking back on the role of Lana Lang, did you find it, was it empowering for you playing Lana?
I think I have a really complicated answer to that. Yes, overall it was. And I think that there's a couple aspects to it, in that the character itself was one thing, but for me, learning how to communicate and stand up for myself and deal with being on set, and even learning how to craft a character and understand what it took to do that. Like in the beginning of the show, if I struggled with something that was written and I had to talk to one of the producers, I would do it on the phone all the time. And I was such a shy teenager and going into my early 20s. And I would call them from my trailer and just try to disguise my crying because my voice would just crack. Even just standing up for something I believed in to that degree was so hard for me. So through the span of the show, I got to a point where I felt very confident in expressing myself and allowing for, blowback from that expression and understanding that conflict was fine. And so it was, in the end, from a process perspective, it was very empowering for me. And the character herself in the beginning felt less empowering and became more and more empowering, I think, as the writers got a sense of who she was, and as I felt more capable of making her into something that I wanted her to be.
Awesome. I'm a big fan of shows that I watch that is very important, and I always felt that Kristin brought a strength and a heart to this girl. I mean, she was a girl. We were all in high school at the time. The character was a girl, but the immovable force kind of strength. And I think for Clark, that was also a big part of the attraction of here's this person whose feet are so steady on the ground and such strength. And I think people saw that. I think the show in and of itself had a lot of heart. But I think that relationship on screen worked because of that mutual respect and that just kind of looking up to each other and trying to grow together sort of thing.
I don't think there was a person who grew more than Kristin on that show. I mean, just...
She looks the same. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, she really does. But just the maturity and just she's always been smart, but you always carry with you this intelligence and this sort of you were always who you were, and you were just. But watching you grow, and I just remember by season 6, we've talked about that. But in the episode Lexmas, where it was the first time I was like, hey, Kristin might actually like me as a friend. I don't think she, and it was just there was a certain thing of mutual respect and love and all that. And it just was but watching you, it was, even till now, going back to school, you're always pushing yourself and always growing. I wish I had that discipline. I'm trying to do that, with my podcast and trying to be more vulnerable and more confident and more whatever, and just be real. And so I admire that in you. So.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, we started when we were so young, especially me. I was very young. I grew up to be an adult on that show. I had never.
Half your life ago. It's half your life ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we're in sort of what's that, Michael?
I just couldn't imagine. I mean, if I was 18 doing the show, I would never have made it. I just wasn't strong enough. Mentally, I just hadn't. I think I don't know. There's just at a certain age, I couldn't imagine. It's taken me when I was 26. I was still 18.
Yeah, but I'll interrupt you because when I started that show, I was the equivalent of 16 when it came to the business. But I was lucky enough to be surrounded by people like you, Michael, and Schneider, and Glover, and Kristin, even you. I mean. Everybody, I was just I'm going to learn from all these people who every single one of you had more experience than I did. And I just learned and tried to learn and learn and learn. And I think that's what Clark was doing too. So that was a kind of a gift. It was a reality and fantasy at the same time. But I think, Michael, when you're lucky enough to be surrounded with people who not only are successful and talented, but want to help and nurture, that's the perfect scenario for a show to at least have a chance of succeeding.
That's true. Yeah. It wasn't egos. I mean, you were incredibly malleable, and you were just soaking it in, going, "Hey, I want to get better," kind of up behind the ears or whatever. And you just were "How do I do this? Let's do it. Let's do it again. Oh, that didn't. That's not. Let's do it again." And I think we all started doing that. We're "You should do that again." Okay. Right. There was support because we all wanted each other to be better, and there definitely was that, which there weren't a lot of egos when it came to that stuff.
Well, a lot of people don't know that every different episode is a different director, and sometimes we had repeat directors, but what we all had in common is we were all there all the time. So we would sort of help each other and sort of wake each other up a little bit when maybe we weren't having our best day, and it was helpful.